Hey everyone, it's Gina and welcome back to the Curly Hair Care for Beginners playlist. If you've been following along in this video series, I share tons of tips for beginners, really break it down in simplified, easy to follow steps on how to transition your curls from damaged and unhealthy curls to get really healthy, nice curls and how to take care of your curly hair. So today's video is going to be all about clarifying. Clarifying your hair and removing buildup is the first step to transition to curly hair. And by transitioning, I mean if you previously have straightened your hair every single day, or if you have chemically damaged hair or over-processed hair that is just really damaged and unhealthy, and you're trying to get it back to your natural curl pattern. And so first off, to start, what is clarifying? And it's basically the process of getting a really deep cleanse on your hair to remove product buildup, to remove excess oil, to really fix and correct scalp issues. A lot of hair issues actually come from the scalp, whether that be dryness or dandruff or anything like that. If your hair is overly oily or overly dry, clarifying can make a big difference, and we'll go into some of the benefits of clarifying too. So first off, how do you know when you need to clarify your hair? I think it's really important to really listen to your hair and take a look at it. It really helps if you pay attention to how your hair is responding to products, how it's looking, how it feels. So you might notice if your scalp is very flat and has hardly any curl definition up there. If it's very weighed down, then you might have product buildup either from using silicone in your styling products, which I have a whole video about the curly girl method and what that means, and I explain there how to look for ingredients and stuff in your curly hair care products. Just because a product might be labeled natural or it might look like it's meant for curly hair, a lot of times there's silicones hiding in those products, and I discuss how to look for those in that video, so I will put that down below. And even in products that are silicone free, a lot of times you might find shea butter, you might find a lot of oils and wax ingredients. And wax is another one of those ingredients that is technically not curly girl approved, but I'm not that strict about it. I don't personally look for waxes in my products because I do clarify frequently. So that's really the key to all of this, and even if you are someone that likes to use silicone products, it's just important to clarify often, that way you don't have that product buildup. Some other signs of needing to clarify is really limp curls and lack of definition, or if your hair is not responding to your products anymore. If you notice that a routine used to work for you and now all of a sudden it's not, and you're just having a hard time managing your hair, then it's good to do a nice reset with clarifying all the product out, all that product buildup and oils and stuff from your hair, and then starting with a clean slate. Also, if you have scalp issues like dandruff, flaky scalp, a dry scalp, if it's itchy, or on the other hand, if your scalp is overly oily. Some other signs of needing to clarify are excess shedding. If your scalp has a lot of buildup on it, it can clog the hair follicles and lead to more shedding and prevent new hair from growing. And this is one of the reasons that I decided to clarify at this time, because I've been noticing so much shedding. I don't feel like I have a lot of buildup on my scalp, but I just wanted to do a really good reset because I've had so much shedding and a lot of tangles. Another sign, if your hair is looking really dull and it doesn't have a lot of shine, then there might be product buildup. Or if you have low porosity hair, which pretty much means that your hair doesn't easily let water or products in, so it just sits on the surface, and that's if your cuticle is really sealed and closed, or if you have fine hair. And I personally do have fine curly hair, so the actual strands are very thin. It's also a lower density, like I don't have super thick hair, and it's very fine in texture, it breaks very easily, so it's more likely to get weighed down by heavy butters, silicones, all that kind of stuff. And I will insert a picture here of my hair when I didn't used to use silicone-free products. This was with just using whatever curly hair products from the drugstore. And when looking back, I can really see how weighed down my hair was. I thought that I had a wavy texture, but really my hair is more of like a 3B, 3A curl type. But back then it was barely even a wave because it was just so weighed down and really limp. And then when I switched to silicone-free products, my hair got so much curlier. You can really see the difference in my hair if you look back at old videos. So how often do you clarify is one of the biggest questions that I get about clarifying, and it really depends on your hair type and your hair's needs. So like I said, it's really important to listen to your hair. If you start to see any of those signs, then it's really good to do that clarifying rinse or treatment and then follow up with a good deep conditioner. So I really recommend just listening to your hair. I would just do it when I feel like my hair needs it, maybe once a month or so. But if you're someone that likes to use co-washes, which is pretty much like a conditioner that cleanses your hair, I have talked about this in my video that I did all about how to wash curly hair, and I explained how my routine is using a shampoo once a week and then a co-wash in the middle of the week when I need a really gentle cleanse. But if you're someone that likes to just use a co-wash every time you wash your hair, then you might not be getting that deep cleanse very frequently, so you would definitely need to clarify more when using co-washes only as your cleansing product. So one of the easiest ways probably to clarify your hair is using a sulfate shampoo. Now I know we preach not using sulfates in the curly hair community, but I don't see anything wrong with using them every once in a while because it's actually what strips your hair. And the whole reason of not using them too frequently is just to not dry out your hair. And naturally curly hair is more dry, so we need some of those natural oils, but sulfate is the same type of ingredient that is in like your dish soap or your laundry detergent, and it's just a cleansing agent. It just breaks down oil, removes everything, so it doesn't hurt to just use that every once in a while in your hair, so maybe like once a month or every 2 months. And that's just a really easy way to know that you're removing silicones, but you want to make sure that your sulfate shampoo does not have silicones. A lot of times silicones are hiding in shampoo. I don't know why they put them in shampoo because there's really no purpose. A lot of times you see them in cream products like conditioner and styling products, but every once in a while I will find them in shampoo, and there's just no point in that in my opinion. I will list off some to look for, but the most common one is amodimethicone or dimethicone. There's all kind of different ones. There's even some that don't end in cone that you have to look out for. So there's really no point in clarifying with a sulfate shampoo if it has silicone. So that's really my point there, is just to make sure that it doesn't have silicone. Another option, and this is usually what I do, is use a really mild sulfate. And I will list out some examples of really gentle sulfates that are not quite as harsh on the hair, but they still can remove silicones. Another thing you can do is use a clarifying shampoo. Now, a lot of times these are labeled as clarifying. They have harsher ingredients in them that will actually cleanse the hair. And one of the ones that I like that is not quite as harsh is the Diva Curl BuildUp Buster. I've done a full review on this. I will link it for you down below, but it's like a micellar cleansing water, and that actually cleanses the product buildup from your hair. But I find that just using apple cider vinegar kind of does the job, or using a sulfate shampoo, so I don't use it quite as frequently as I used to, but that is an option. So just look for anything that says clarifying, and that is something that you can use every once in a while when you need a deep cleanse. Another thing you can do to actually really cleanse the scalp and exfoliate the scalp is using baking soda. I used to do this all the time. So you pretty much take your shampoo, and I would use a sulfate-free shampoo for this, or you can even use a co-wash if you like to use co-washes, and just add a little bit of baking soda and just gently massage your scalp. You can also do sugar or salt. There's all kinds of different exfoliating shampoo options on the internet if you Google them, like natural ones, and that's a great way to just gently exfoliate the scalp, but you don't want to be too harsh. And the last way of clarifying your hair is using the raw apple cider vinegar rinse. So what are some of the benefits of clarifying? Well, first, clarifying is really good at balancing out the pH in your hair. So I'm actually going to share with you how I clarify my hair using raw apple cider vinegar. So we'll go over that in just a little bit, but I did want to share with you some of the benefits of using apple cider vinegar rinses. So the first one is it balances the pH in your hair, and the pH is essentially the scale of how acidic versus how alkaline it is. I think I have that right. I'm not a chemist or anything. I do have some notes here, and basically frizzy hair is said to be more alkaline. It's also antimicrobial, so apple cider vinegar helps kill bacteria. It also controls fungus on the scalp, so if you have itchiness, if you have any type of scalp conditions. It also has vitamin C and B, which is always really good for your hair. It helps exfoliate the scalp, so if you have a lot of dead skin cells on your scalp, if you have dandruff and product buildup, and then also it's anti-inflammatory, and so it's great for dandruff as well if you have a sensitive scalp, which is personally my favorite because it has the most benefits, as I mentioned, for your hair. So now let's finally get into actually how I do the treatment on my hair, how I fully clarify using it, and it's super easy, and I show you kind of my full wash routine when I do this. So here's a shot of my hair before I hop in the shower, and it has a lot of product buildup, and my roots are very way down because I used a scalp treatment that has oil in it. I'll be sharing this with you guys soon. So I have the oil on my roots. You can see how flat they are, and then my hair is super tangled. It's looking really dull. It's definitely feeling dry, and the apple cider vinegar works with all that kind of stuff. So real quick, I wanted to share with you how I mixed up the apple cider vinegar before I apply it to my hair. So for using apple cider vinegar, it can be a little bit harsh, so you definitely want to dilute it with water. It's really important to use the raw unfiltered apple cider vinegar. So this says on it that it's with the mother, which is just The particles that settle in the bottom, it's from the apples. It's actually what has all the vitamins and nutrients in it, so it's really important to get this. And I would also highly recommend getting the organic version. So you just want to shake up the bottle, make sure you get all of that sediment mixed in, and then pour it in a bottle. If you don't have a bottle like this, you can use a spray bottle or just use a cup, or you can mix it in a bowl and pour it over your head. But this is the bottle you can just get on Amazon, and it has like a nozzle on it to where you can apply it right to your scalp. So you want to dilute it with 2 parts water and 1 part apple cider vinegar. So it's always like a 3-to-1 ratio. And so it's 1 part apple cider vinegar and then 2 parts water. So I just pour some of the apple cider vinegar in. I'm just filling this up about 1/3 of the way. And then I'm going to fill up the rest of it with just plain water. Then you're just going to shake it up and you're ready to apply it on your hair. So we're starting off in the shower. I'm gonna fully wet down my hair, and I like to actually detangle my hair first. I always do this. If you've seen the video I did on how to wash curly hair, I really recommend starting with a conditioner to remove all the tangles. You wanna be very gentle. I recommend using just your fingers to detangle, because if you use a brush or a comb, sometimes it can break your hair, and our hair is super fragile when it's wet, so you wanna be very careful when you detangle. Now that all the tangles are out, I'm actually going to shampoo, and I've been using this line from the Main Choice. This is a peach black tea collection, so that was the conditioner I used first, and now I'm using the shampoo from that line. I really like this shampoo because it's really mild on the hair. It does a great job at cleansing, and it's anti-shedding. It helps reduce shedding, and since I've had so much shedding lately, I definitely think this is helping with that. I did do a full review on this line, so I'll also put that down below for you. So I'm just cleansing my hair. I'm really focusing on the scalp. Sometimes you have to keep adding shampoo and really cleanse several times to get rid of oils and stuff on your hair. So that's what I'm doing here. I just gradually add more product and just gently massage my scalp. So then after I shampooed, my hair kind of got tangled up, I think just from all the oils and stuff. So I just really gently detangled with my fingers before I'm gonna actually apply the apple cider vinegar. So I actually like cleansing my hair first and then rinsing with the apple cider vinegar. But if you can't stand the smell, then you might want to do the apple cider vinegar rinse first. It's just up to you. You can try it different ways. So now that I finished shampooing my hair and my hair is detangled, I'm gonna apply the apple cider vinegar rinse to my scalp and just keep squeezing it. This was cold, so I did have to try to lean back, and you don't want to get it in your eyes either because it will burn them. So just be very careful, and I would apply this all over the scalp and just let it run down your strands. So I applied the entire bottle all over my head, and then I actually threw it up in just a ponytail holder and let it sit for a little bit. You want to let this sit for maybe 5 minutes or so. Not too long, but you do want to let it sit on there and really soak into your scalp. So at this time, I actually went back and continued with the rest of my shower. I washed my body, shaved, all that kind of stuff. So it was about 5 minutes before I actually did the final rinse. So now I'm actually rinsing out my hair, and I was surprised at how soft my hair was. It was crazy how soft it was with something that seems like it would be drying because it's acidic. But it felt so good and soft. It felt like I just applied a deep conditioner, which is just crazy. I don't know how this stuff works like that. But I guess it's just so nutrient dense that it's just really good for your hair. It really helped to detangle any tangles that I had left over and just really softened up the hair, and I could tell how clean it was feeling. So I'm actually going to deep condition, which I highly recommend doing after you clarify, just to add that moisture back in. So I just kind of put my hair up in my hair repair towel just to absorb a little bit of the moisture on my scalp, because when I apply a deep conditioner, I like to walk around for like 30 minutes or so, and I don't like it dripping. So I did absorb some moisture at my scalp, and then now I'm applying the Diva Curl Deep Sea Repair, which is one of my favorite strengthening deep conditioners. This has protein in it, so it's great at repairing your hair, but I recommend trying out the Melt Into Moisture too from Diva Curl. That's just a great all-around deep conditioner. It's really good at providing moisture, but this one, it gives me a little bit more protein to my hair, but you just don't want to use too much of this. So if your hair is dry and brittle, I would recommend going with the Melt Into Moisture. So you just really have to listen to your hair, see if it needs more moisture or if it needs more protein, and I can do a whole video on that. Or you can look it up, but basically you want to have a good balance of both and not overuse one or the other. So I applied the deep conditioner all over my head, and then I actually went and applied my heat cap, which I have a whole video on how to deep condition curls. I will link that for you down below too. It's part of this series. And I break it down on my full routine when I deep condition, so you can see the rest of the steps that I do after this. After deep conditioning, I just rinsed out with cold water, and I finished styling my hair like normal. The styling routine that I did today, I have a full video on it. It's my Diva Curl styling routine. I will link it for you down below, but really easy, and I get really great volume and definition with this routine. So if you wanted to see how I style it, you can check that out as well. So here is what my hair looks like after. You can see how much more shine that I have, how much definition that I have. It feels so soft and tangle free. It's just crazy how soft it felt. Like even when I was about to blow dry my hair was so soft that I felt like I didn't have enough hold with my gel. But then once I dried, I magically had all this hold and definition. It just felt so soft and nice, and it didn't feel brittle or crunchy or anything. But I still have really good hold from the styling products that I used. But I just feel like I have really great volume. My scalp feels so clean, which is such a nice feeling. And when I like scratch it, I don't feel like I have any buildup, which is really rare for me. I feel like I always have like product on my scalp, but I really love my results. So that is everything. I hope that was not too fast for you. I know it's a lot of stuff, but I think clarifying is so important, and this is really the first step to kickstart your natural hair journey. So if you want to get any of the products that I mentioned, I always list them all out on the blog post that goes with this video, which will be the first link down below. If you have not already subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe here to my channel. I usually post weekly all about fine curly hair and also some makeup for beginners and some home stuff here or there. So I'd love to have you join my YouTube family, and I will talk to you next week. Bye everyone.